Agenda item number 5, discussion and action to approve the interlocal agreements between the city of Marfa and the Presidio County Sheriff's for FY 27 dispatch fees.
Yes, sir. So I talked to Karina a little bit late. We need actually more time on this item and also number 6 as well. So I would just request if we could please table those for today. And I'll be putting them on hopefully on the next agenda, but we just needed more time.
I'll make a motion that we table agenda items number 5 and 6 as presented.
I have a motion to table agenda items 5 and 6. And I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And it looks like you're still doing spring painting, Shauna. Discussion with action to approve the Presidio County Sheriff's Office to salvage the following items. Looks like a desk, an executive wooden desk, two desks, a metal frame table,
I think we skipped
and a
one.
black roll chair.
Yes.
Okay. We'll go on to agenda item number 7. Discussion with action to approve the Presidio County Sheriff's Office technical support contract from Total ID Solutions for fiscal year 27.
Yes, sir. So this one is ready to go. We do this one every year as well. So this is for our ID machine. We make school IDs with it, kid print IDs, everything from infants all the way up to seniors in high school. We pay $295 annually for the tech support. That gives us free tech support for the entire year with the one-time payment. If we don't do that, then our tech support is charged at $175 an hour.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw that. So much more.
Right. I think it's a no-brainer.
I'll make a motion to approve the Presidio County Sheriff's Office technical support contract from Total ID Solutions for fiscal year 2027. I have a second from Commissioners Contreras. All in favor?
Aye.
Now we'll go to number 8. Discussion with action to approve the Presidio County Sheriff's Office to salvage those items.
Yes, sir. So recently we had salvaged a few items out of the deputy's office. This is the remainder of the furniture out of the deputy's office. So we're not purchasing new furniture. We actually were able to acquire used furniture from Border Patrol at no cost. So now we are just getting rid of all those old items. That black rolling office chair was actually my old chair, which was broken. And I also got a new used chair from Border Patrol. So.
I noticed none of them have any county tags, so I wouldn't doubt it if they came from Border Patrol 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
Correct. One of those items out of the deputy's office had a City of Marfa tag with a date of 2011. So I think those were also sort of recycled office furniture as well.
Okay. Entertain motion.
I'll move that we approve the Presidio County Sheriff's Office to salvage the 4 listed items.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioner.
Have a good day. Or I guess you got one more. Discussion with action to approve the amendment number 1 to the Presidio County Jail Commissary Agreement, extending the agreement between Presidio County and, is it right, commissary? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's correct. Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. It's me, Andrea. I'm just requesting approval of the amendment number 1 to the current commissary contract. The amendment just extends the current agreement so that we can continue services without interruption.
Would you mind giving us a brief explanation of what the commissary agreement is?
Correct commissary provides services to the jail so that the inmates may use the commissary services that they offer. Commissary is just the purchasing of indigent items, special food items that they may want to purchase. We offer indigent inmates indigent packs and obviously 3 meals a day, but this is just like an extra service that they can utilize.
Is there any Andrea, is there any monetary increase or decrease associated with any of this?
No, ma'am, there was no changes to the contract.
This contract is for every 5 years.
Did you hear that?
I did not hear that. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Is this a 5-year contract or a yearly contract?
It's 5 years, sir.
I'm over with. Presidio County Jail Commissary.
So I have a motion,
Okay.
and I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Agenda 10, discussion with possible action on approving the use of the courthouse lawn for the wedding of son on Saturday, April 17, 2025. So it's not till next year. It's going to be from 5 to 6. And they just want a small outdoor. They're going to use the courthouse lawn. So if we approve them, I think we should. I'll go over them with all the requirements that we have regarding trash, security, other options.
Yes, I already spoke with them. They won't need, they're gonna take care of their own trash, bring their own trash cans. They will need an electricity for the DJ for the beginning of the wedding. But they won't need inside the courthouse or anything, because it's gonna be on a Saturday. So,
So that means they'll have to contact our incoming commissioner to get that turned on.
I can talk to Isaac and get it turned on that Friday.
Yeah, it's still what, 10 months out?
Yeah, it's still a while, but I'll put it in my calendar and
We can do it. So, any other discussion? I'll make a motion that we approve the courthouse lawn for the wedding of Sarah Connery on Saturday, April 17, 2027. I have a second by Commissioner Sotrias. All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Thank you so much. Agenda item number 11, discussion regarding the establishment of a special road use permitting procedure on county. This is a discussion item only. And I'll tell you, I've been keeping up with, and obviously, all the border judges are very concerned. They're in unison, the sheriff's office are in unison. We don't want to work. What we do know is contracts have been cut. We've been having meetings with DHS. We've met with the elected officials, our state elected officials, and what I'm seeing, some of our surrounding counties are being proactive, what I would call proactive. So the one I'll use, the Hudspeth County as an example. They were really the ones doing this first. Ironically, it wasn't because of the wall. It was because there's a rare earth mineral company that's moving in. And again, they're going to be using heavy equipment, and their concerns were the roads going in and out and damaging the county roads. So this was a mechanism that they found, and I believe they found it. And I'm gonna put Ms. Parks on the spot here in just a minute. But I believe the original version of this came out of Navarro County. And what it allows, what it does is it offers some assurances that anyone that uses, obviously, again, we're talking about public roads and who has access to public roads, public. We cannot deny or tell somebody they can't use a public road. If we deem it public, then it is public. But what we can do is look at something like this and consider if it should be implemented in our county for those reasons. This equipment, I'm sure some is going to be well over 80,000 pounds. You guys already know the condition of our county road. The equipment that we have is minimal. Is it going to be damaged? Probably. And this offers us a mechanism to require them to bond if they're going to be using our county roads, and it requires them, if they do damage it, for them to fix it. So I'll open it up. First of all, before I open it up for discussion, I'm going to defer to Ms. And I understand you went through the agreement. Do you want to, I guess, kind of give us an overview if you have concerns, if you modified anything, and what you think about the agreement.
So I don't remember where the original one came from, but I've looked at several now, one from Hudspeth and Navarro, and then several from permeation in the area. So the original, especially the permitting procedures that I've seen, mostly come from, like you said, large scale operations, like which is why I was looking at Permian Basin area ones, because those counties have these procedures in place for oil and gas and other large operations, where you know, as the judge said, these are public roads, so we can't prohibit anyone from using a public road. But what we can do is put in a policy or procedure in place where if there's going to be any sort of special use of the roads, which is large equipment being used on the road, maybe a potential that a road would be temporarily closed off in order to move the equipment, stuff like that. Again, this is the origin of these procedures comes from the oil and gas sector, where, you know, massive loads are coming in place on county roads that are originally not really meant for that kind of industrial use. And so what those policies have said and done in those counties are, if you're going to be doing these special use, you come to the county first, there's a permitting process, you fill out an application, explain to the county what your use is, what you're doing, what dates you're doing it. That way the county's aware of it. And if there's going to be any need to close down the road temporarily in order to move this large equipment for safety, we can involve, you know, potentially the sheriff's office to make sure that it's done in a safe manner. All these things that could be involved with heavy use of equipment on roads. This is a unique situation, you know, because originally it's for use of roads. What we've been seeing and receiving from some other contractors on the wall isn't just the use of road, but it's also potentially the grading of roads, which is kind of goes into a different direction. And so I'm going to have to modify that agreement for not just the use of the road, but also for their operations on the road that go beyond just fixing culverts or, you know, just fixing their own damage. Because they're looking at doing not some work on the road that doesn't not just a reaction to damage that maybe their large equipment does to the road, but as a proactive to prevent the damage, which is kind of goes into a different arena on especially use permitting. So the documents that I have from these other counties doesn't really touch upon those things. So I am going to have to go in and make a lot of provisions in there. That way if we do implement a procedure or policy in place for special road use, it is broader and can cover that kind of special use of the roads, because that's kind of what we're anticipating our first special use request would be. But I still, you know, it's still not going to be, because it's a policy or procedure, it's got to be a policy that applies to any kind of special use. You know, if obviously we don't have oil and gas operations, but if something like that came in, you know, a solar farm or something, that way it's written broad enough to apply to any future special use. So it's not going to be specific to border wall contractors or what they're doing. I do need to make sure it's broad enough for many uses.
So Ms. Park, am I correct? The way that this process should flow is first we establish a policy and a procedure, and then that drives the agreement, or are we allowing a potential agreement to drive our policy and procedure?
So the policy comes first.
Yeah.
And the judge, I think, had a really great idea in making sure that he brought this to Commissioner's Court as a discussion only.
Right.
Before we brought the actual documents.
Right.
That way we could get input from everyone and, you know, from any interested parties in the drafting of the policy in the first place. So I think that was a really wise decision. So then once we kind of once we kind of gotten that commentary from interested parties on this kind of policy, any kind of, concerns about the policy, that will help me to make sure I draft it in a way that addresses those concerns. So then yes, like you said, the policy comes first. So we enter into a policy or procedure, whatever term you want to use for it. And then the policy would have in there a description for how to apply. So it'll have the instructions for if anyone wants to do a special use permit, how they apply, if there's going to be an application form, a formal procedure, that would all be outlined in the policy or the procedure. And after that point, after it's enacted, that's when we can afterwards start receiving these applications, potentially, for special use permitting. And then once the idea is once you start getting applications and you start getting an understanding of what a specific applicant wants in their use, then you would come back to another commissioners court meeting with an agreement with them, and that would be a special agreement between Presidio County and the applicant that lays out their use, when they're going to do it, outlines what the special use permit is for, whether they're going to have to pay for a bond, the cost of the bond, those kinds of things. So it's we're setting up the procedure in order to facilitate in the first place.
So I heard you say that you've looked at agreements. Have you looked at policies from other? I as a commissioner am very interested in our policies.
I should have clarified. I've looked at policies from other counties.
Okay.
I've seen one agreement from a county that they entered into with an oil and gas company, which helps me, to create the agreement, which would be step 2, 3, 4, whatever you want to call it. But I'm sorry, you caught me to slip up. I looked at other policies from other counties on how they set up their policies, their procedures, and their application process for this.
And is it possible for you to share those policies with the court so that we can look at them as well?
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be great. I'd like to see those.
Yeah, of course. Well, like I said,
And I'm guessing y'all would like to see them too.
So, and again, discussion on.
Right.
So, that was very informative. Thank you very much, Ms. Parks. I would challenge anybody, if they want to know what I'm talking about. Right now, we have the construction of the CBP, Customs and Border Protection, rail facility site. If you drive out there, you want to be very careful, and it's open, so you can drive out there, be very careful. There's a lot of construction going on, but pay special close attention to the roads. There's a fine powder. I bet you it's 2 feet deep. And when you drive out there, there's just plumes of smoke. It looks like there's something on fire up there. And when you look at the equipment that they're using to lift those massive walls, there's huge cranes. And these cranes, I suspect that these companies and those types, whether it's oil and gas or construction of a wall or construction of this huge facility, they're going to bring in these huge cranes. What do they weigh? 200,000 pounds. They're huge. Again, it's going to be incumbent. Again, we don't have a mechanism. So we have a policy in place. Who's going to enforce it? Is it the commissioners? Is it the commissioners? Is it those public roads that they're responsible for within their precincts? So we still have a lot of I's to dot and T's to cross, but I really want to hear what everybody's thinking, where we headed with this, what do you think? Good idea, bad idea. I believe that Hudspeth County, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Hudspeth County has already passed it. And again, they've been working on this probably the better part of a year because it was for that rare earth project. And they may have to modify theirs. I believe it's on the agenda for Jeff Davis County on the 28th, which is next week in Jeff Davis County. I haven't spoken with Curtis Evans to see exactly if theirs is a discussion action or is theirs a finished version. I'm not sure. But I'll get to see Judge Evans tomorrow. We're going to be in a COG meeting tomorrow. So I'll get more information from him and see where they're headed. But with that, I'll open it up. Please go ahead, Ms.
I was saying, you actually brought up a really good point that I forgot to make, is engaging in these policies is a protective measure for the county, which of course is my job as county attorney. Because we don't have them in place, and these special uses can occur on the roads without our permission, right? It's a public road, we can't prohibit people from being on the road. So this is a protective measure for the county, because the county is, of course, responsible for the maintenance, and, ensuring that our county roads are safe. So these operations occur without any kind of special use permit. We don't know about it. We're not aware. One, it could create an unsafe situation if there's a potential temporary closing of the road or just this large equipment out there. And two, if any of these damages occur to the road, the county, without an agreement in place, the county would be liable to first off find it and know about it, which we might otherwise not know about it, and two, to fix it, which of course bears on our resources. So putting these in place is a protective measure for the county to ensure that that we kind of put the onus on the special user to ensure that they're doing things in a responsible manner, and that if there's any damages, that they go out there, identify the damages, and fix them.
A couple things before, I know you want to open it up to public comment, which I certainly want to hear from the public. But 2 points that have been made here is Hudspeth County took about a year in order to really get it right. So I hope that Presidio County as well well, I know they're amending it, but I hope that we will take our time and get it right. And my second point is that, everything seems to be driven by construction and stuff, but we have 300 miles of county roads. So I hope we as a court will just keep in mind that we look at for other uses too. That's it.
And historically, and I want the sheriff's office, it's common with DPS. They enforce a lot of commercial driver's license laws. They're very specific. They deal with sizes, weights, over width, what times of operation. Typically, a deputy or even a police officer in a local municipality doesn't enforce CDL laws as a general practice. But again, I would suspect that a lot of our deputies don't have that training. Do we need to get it to them? Like there's for example, this is an example, hours of operation. Anything with an oversized road cannot operate half an hour before sun is down or half an hour after the sun rises. So those are all things that we'll have to know why, the dangers of moving heavy equipment and at night, et cetera, et cetera. So, but no, absolutely. I don't know about the time. I don't know if it's a year. I truly don't know. I think that the beauty of having somebody already done the work, you're not starting at 0. We may be starting at 50, I'm not sure. And I don't want to rush it, and I don't want to pass it tomorrow. But I do think that if you don't have anything on the books, I don't know how successful we'll be being reactive. If we were reactive, if they do start using the roads and they tear them up, and we come back and you tore our roads up, and they're like, okay, we'll prove it to you. Show me, your roads are in bad shape. Or you don't have policy in place. We have no legal footing to stand on. So I'm not saying let's wait a year. It should take us a year. I'm just saying let's do our due diligence. Try to get. I know I say this all the time. If you're looking for perfection, you'll never find it. And it could be that we adopt something that we recognize, just like Hudspeth or Jeff Davis will, that we're going to have to modify. It has to be a living document.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that's nice is that Bernard Construction, who is down at the Moody Bennett and has been on Chispa Road, they've been real good about texting me and letting me know when they're moving heavy equipment down the road. And correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but don't state highways have a certain layer of protection of what kind of weights and what can be carried on the highways, which in a sense kind of protects our county roads.
I know it's 8,000 pounds.
Yeah.
It legally is 8,000 pounds, but you can move it to 200,000 pounds. So
But they have a permit, right?
yeah, they have to run a permit.
Yeah.
That's
I should have known you.
But yeah, exactly it, is you want to be proactive, not reactive to
Right.
it, because if we don't have this in place, any of this use will occur on the roads anyways, without us knowing about it, without any kind of protection for the county. So getting this in place, I do, y'all know that I like to take my time to make sure things are done right. This is probably one that needs to be done before here, all it's put in place, because otherwise, like I said, the use is gonna happen anyways. We just wanna make sure the use is done in a way that we can monitor it, that we're aware of it, and we put safety measures in place for the county.
Exactly.
Right now, like, we went to the company doing work on the side of the road with the fiber optics. If they mess something up with this, we can ask them to fix the roads. It would work for
Were
everybody.
you talking about Pinto Canyon?
Whatever, it's just an example.
Any heavy equipment.
Bueno,
Judge, we do have online a couple of people who would like to
Let
speak.
me go to the audience here first.
Okay.
In person, and then Ellen, be patient with us. We'll get to it. So are there any public comments regarding what we're discussing? Sure, please go ahead. Name, where you're from, and your comment.
And if you could stand a little closer to the microphone.
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Jason Barrett. I'm from Terlingua, Texas. Wanted to make a public comment, just go on the record to say that I oppose the wall. And I don't oppose border security by any means, but disrupting a beautiful place that we all know and wonder of makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So there's just a few things that I'd like to bring up. We'd like to be the feds. We'd love them to keep their promises to us of the no wall in the Big Bend that was promised to us, but the map keeps changing. So we'd like to have some clarity on what actually is the plan. We don't know. They don't know. We saw that in the federal case. So, and then finally, we'd like the county, because everything's really happening at the county level and the federal. It's like we're in David versus Goliath situation, but that we in the state respect private owner property rights. And I appreciate what you're doing. Please take your time on the policy to come up with something good, because you brought up an excellent point. We know from living here, when you grade roads, you don't know what's going to happen. You might get 2 feet worth of fluff that's just dust, and that goes into all our lungs and affects us all negatively. So, and the only way to tap down that dust is gravel or water. And so that's other resources that got to go in there. So take your time, please. Thank you for explaining everything. Thank you all my brothers and sisters of this community. I appreciate everything you're doing. Thank you, Presidio, for taking on this David versus Goliath situation that we got going on here. And thank you. I appreciate you.
thanks, Jason.
I went to school with an Eddie Bear.
Oh, we did.
Any relation?
Perhaps. What time?
Let's see.
Oh, Presidio. I'll have to look up about the
So any other comments? Please.
Hi, my name is Jenna Cantrell. I'm also from Terlingua. And I just want to bring up a few concerns with this. I know with Hudspeth County, I was at those meetings and where I wasn't the last one actually, but they had the permitting process in place and they were using that as something that at first they were kind of saying, well, you know, we have this process, so we're not going to let them move in and do this as fast. But then right after they had that in, they moved in and they started working, even though Garner Construction was lying about road work, like they happened on Chiefsville Road. I think it allowed them to move in and start doing that. And then their sheriff has been really good about issuing fines for the oversized loads and for the trucks that are doing illegal things, but they just pay fines. So that's one thing to consider too with this, is that they have all the money in the world. And they can come in, they can pay fines, they can do things illegally, do things the wrong way. They feel like they can go wherever they want because there were federal laws waived, but at the county level, you don't have to do that. And you can stand up against these people. It's not inevitable. Yesterday, I think was a really good example of that. Like that court case, I think went really well. And I heard the judge say, well, can you prove that there is an immediate crisis right now in 2025? And the attorney for the Department of Homeland Security could not do that. He couldn't furnish that because they are not using current data for this. So I think there is awareness coming up and it is slowing down. I know that we're all opposed to this project, but I think that just keeping in mind when we're, you know, with these roads, they can pay the fines. And so can other companies too that come in and use the roads. They can pay the fines. So how can we be proactive to protect the roads right now How can we monitor that to make sure they're not out there operating illegally, which they have been, but also make sure that we're doing this in a way that does slow them down. I mean, with all these federal waivers, they are trying to say there's an emergency that they cannot prove, but we don't have to hurry up and do that. Like, we can slow down and protect this. You can slow down and protect. I'm saying we, I'm in Terlingua, but you know, that's something that I think collectively we can do, and it's really important to do, to just hold the line, because they're operating with a lot of free power on the federal level, but we can protect our land and our landowners and the river at this level. And I appreciate all you guys have done to slow this down. I really do. Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? Any other comments? Sorry.
So Ramon Rodriguez, and I'm speaking as a private citizen of Presidio County. I just have a quick question, but first I want to thank the County Commissioners Court and the county attorney for all the due diligence. My question is, would these, for example, once these applications come in for a permit, would they have to come back to Commissioners Court? And would we know exactly what you want to use it for? Would it become a specific category or something?
It depends on how the commissioners want to do the procedure. So generally, yes, what would happen, and this is kind of how I'm envisioning it. Like I said, right now it's all still being put together. Yeah, it's all pie in the sky right now. Because we're a small county, we don't usually handle, we handle all these things usually one by one in the Commissioners Court. Large counties, they would have a special office or committee that handles these. That way, they don't have to go to Commissioners Court for 100 applications for things, which that's a larger county. So how I envision it would probably go in the policy. Again, it's up to them to approve, deny, but how I'm thinking about it is they fill out an application that they submit to the county reviews it, and then either they would bring a proposed agreement to us, or I would draft a proposed agreement for them regarding their use and their permit and any potential bonds that they would have to pay for to buy to protect the property. And then at the following commissioners meeting, it would show up at that agreement would then be placed on the agenda for that next commissioners court meeting for the commissioners to approve or deny to enter into that agreement. So that's how I'm envisioning it. Like I said, in larger counties, they just delegate this to offices, because otherwise their commissioners courts would be inundated with all these small or relatively small applications for permitting, whether it's plats, subdivision plats or road use and stuff like that. But we're a small enough county that we don't have special offices for those things.
And I think that's my comment. I think that if the permit were to specify exactly what they want to use it for, who it is, I think it gives the county a bigger arm to be able to enforce whenever needed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No,
Thanks, Ramon.
yeah, thank you. And again, I go back, I kind of envision it as, could it be a sheriff's office function? The permit goes to them, it's approved by the sheriff. Again, that'd be another idea. Etina, let me put you on the spot. Do you issue oversized permits? No.
Those go through TxDOT.
Yeah, they go straight with the application on text deal.
My aunt used to own a company that ran permitting for oversized vehicles, actually, so I know more than a normal person should.
So we don't have any mechanism in place right now. It's not, for the most part, it's something that TxDOT is handled and Texas DPS enforces through state laws. So this is just our version of the state law.
Yes, it's very similar.
Yeah. So any other comments? Please, sir, go ahead.
I'm Michael Boyers from Terlingua, Texas. I've probably been to like 20 of these meetings in 6 counties. All this started. Are you all aware of the work that's already started on Chispa Road?
I'm very aware.
Yeah.
I'm there a lot.
And the heavy machinery
Yeah.
that's down there? Was that, I guess, did they get permitted for that?
They're not on Chispa. Are you talking about the recent clearing that may be
By Moody
for?
Bennett.
that may be for the wall itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and in front of Fort Rainier Massacre.
Right. But that's not on Chispa Road.
It's right next to it.
Right,
Yeah.
right, but it's not on the
Oh,
county
okay.
road, Mike, let's
That's
be
on
clear,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So yes, I'm staying up on a lot of
Yeah.
that. I'm actually driving it again on Saturday.
All right, yeah, I've probably got like 10 trips on that road already. And as when you start talking about improving Chispa Road so they can get heavy machinery, some of the more iconic sites on Chispa, like Godzilla Hill, like how would they ever get anything up and down that without
Good question.
destroying that? Like everyone knows Godzilla Hill, that's like one of the coolest spots on Chispa.
I had a person from Presidio County call me, and we had that same discussion, and we were talking about, he said, he was like, well, somebody allowed some equipment to come in, and what can we do about it? And it's private property, Ms. Parks just said it herself. If a person that owns private property, wants to enter into an agreement and let them stage equipment or park their vehicle,
Yeah.
that we have no recourse, we can do nothing about that. Now, all the work that's happening on Chispa, is it Jeff Davis County?
At the beginning of Chispa, they're doing a lot of rock crushing and stuff, that's Jeff Davis, that's not us. So you've got to come down, and I think there is a Presidio County road sign number 13, where it starts into Presidio. Are you familiar with that one?
Well, 14 is Moody Bennett Ranch.
Well,
What goes
14 is further closer, that's down near Candelaria. I'm
Uh-huh.
talking about the northern portion up towards Lobo.
Yeah.
So you've got, I think, 11 miles of county road that is in Jeff Davis, and then the largest portion is in Presidio County.
Yeah. And then, the two sites. And I guess the cost of road, once they make elaborate improvements to roads and they're gone, now you got a more expensive road to maintain would be another thing. Also, why do we want all this heavy machinery? But what is the weight limit for Chispa Road? Like
There is none.
there is none, so you can just bring whatever.
We have nothing in place.
Can you put something in place?
That's exactly.
The state permitting is what's in place, so it defaults to the state permitting, which is
Okay.
2,000
So, it's 80,000, that's standard.
before a permit.
That's an highway. It all depends on the thickness of the highway, it's a big deal, but like in our regular roads, I don't know what's the exact, whatever.
Well, I think in our road listing, it tells us what type the county roads are. And I think if you go to the Texas Transportation Code and you look at what type, that's where you get a weight.
I don't know, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You may be correct, you may be correct.
And if
You can, again, like Commissioner Scott, yes, he's alluding to that special permit that TxDOT has. Say you do have a vehicle, and I've seen permits up to 200,000 pounds. They can give you a route. You can't go to here, you can go to here, we're not gonna let you go here, you gotta go around this. And they give you a specific path. Again, those are all things, and that's why I love discussion, honestly, because it helps us.
Yeah.
It helps us form what are we trying to accomplish.
And I think that weight limit goes to default, like you said, and that's before a permit.
So that's assuming that they took a state highway to get to Chispa Road.
Yeah.
I guess
They have to.
Commissioner Escondrias made a good point that I guess technically if they didn't start at a state road, I don't know how you would get there, right? If you didn't start from a state highway, but in theory, if you started at a private property on Chispa Road and then you continue to another private property on Chispa Road, then the state regulations wouldn't apply because you wouldn't be on a state highway. So there is in theory a way that wouldn't apply, but I just don't see how they would get there in the first place without first being on a state highway.
And they're really creative. I mean, I've seen when they move drilling rigs, they'll move it out to 8 pieces, 10
Yeah.
pieces.
check.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry.
And, whenever you do a permit, and I know this because I've done over 6 permits in my company. If there's not a highway or there's a local road or county road, it'll ask you for the lights. So the permit is not regulated on the county roads. It's just regulated on Texas highways. So if there's no highway, you have to put it like a pin, where it's gonna go and they'll let you. But
And if they get the permit and they're out there and now they're breaking the law in other ways, like they've had a long history since it started of just total disregard of getting permits until someone calls them out, like the Lobo Man camp is, they claim to the commissioner court, we have all the permits and 911 addresses, which was just a blatant lie to that commissioner court meeting. I mean, we have it recorded. And they got no TCEQ permits. And there's open investigations on them. They started working on county roads without approval until someone catches them and shuts them down. Apparently, they may have been drilling down there by the Fort Rainier site. May have been working on GLO land without permission as well. And it just seems like, well, they're down there expecting who's going to be driving around out there on Cheaper Road or 14 way down there. And they just feel like they got free reign in the place. And
I'd like to make a clarification. I did Google, and first-class county roads in Texas typically have a weight limit of 10 tons or 20,000 pounds.
that big machine down there is 40,000
And
pounds.
Chispa is a first-class,
Yeah. So,
first class.
But yeah, I think, just kind of going back to one of the original points, is the county isn't able to, isn't in a position to monitor what people are doing on private property. It's just not an authority that we have. Of course, unless, they were bringing on tons of cocaine, or, and obviously, if the use that they're doing is criminal in nature, then we do. But if their use of what they're doing on private property is otherwise legal,
sounds like it may be, if they were drilling a well, that's legal, they can fine.
so it's about the water well.
Or
So,
if there was a court.
funny story about that.
That's not for this court though, that's for the Presidio
Yeah.
County
Oh, okay.
That
underground
was the
water.
water district. It turned out they were drilling core samples.
Yeah,
Not
okay.
drilling water well. But nonetheless, unless they're doing something illegal, the county can't start monitoring people's private property, whether it's a contractor or not. We're not in a position to monitor private individuals on their private property. So that's just not a power that we have.
And you said the weight limit for Chispa is 40,000 pounds, or what?
20,000.
20. So that means how did that machine get down there? That cat dozer that's tearing up the GLO land right now. That's 40,000 pounds. So, just another example. They just whatever. They're just going to keep moving forward until people stop.
I'd like to look into this because if that's what the website says, we have to.
Yeah.
To check on this.
We'll look into it.
We have to.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Hold the line. Anyone else in attendance have a comment? None? So we'll move on to online.
I have Yolanda.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yay! Sorry, couldn't be here today. I want to change the subject back to county roads, and I want to thank you guys so much for creating policy. Since I've been alive, I've seen construction show up on county roads numerous times and destroyed the roads and so far and so forth. One time was with U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, showed up in the 90s to fix the road. That was specifically Chispa Road. It took one rain for it to be destroyed, and it left the road in worse condition than before. So I want to suggest that any improvements done to county roads are per TxDOT standard, if that can be written into any policy agreement, because we have seen these people show up and it just not work. Also, any hydrology or geology survey of any of the roads, if this is per improvement of roads, should be a thing. A lot of people who come, especially from out of state or from across Texas to work on these roads or do improvements, are not from the area and do not understand how water works in the area. And so that seems to be overlooked. And again, it falls back on the county to fix in the future. I have the flu right now, so I sound terrible. I also want to state when oil and gas came out in 2018, 2019, and they went through Chispa also to make improvements, they already widened the road there. And that current measurement, I've seen with my own eyes 2 semis drive side by side already. So in my opinion, there's no reason to widen the road any further if it's only to like accelerate their construction land, because that just impedes on private land property and opens up a whole other can of worms. So in my opinion, it's not necessary to widen any of those roads at all. But hopefully, if this policy works and there's some things in place, we run into some of the issues we ran into in the past. And third, I just want to make a statement by saying, like, when there are improvements to these roads, it opens the door for more people to come through. And per experience, I've seen accidents on this road. My own family experienced an accident, and we just don't have emergency services in place on these stretches. So I think the Hudspeth County agreement was weak, to say the least. It was very weak. It was, and it was for contractors and it wasn't for the county. And I hope that if there's any permit involved, any money can go to signage and emergency services in the area. Like the money you're going to save on construction on the road should go to emergency services. My family experienced an accident where my husband sat with the dead body for 3 hours because an ambulance couldn't get out there. And I see this happening on our roads when we allow companies to come in and create these highways in places our counties cannot come back with emergency services, with the policing it takes. As we stated, you know, there's already going to be trucks overweight and the police isn't there. There's no one to monitor this. And so we, the people who live and work on these county roads, are going to be unsafe. I've seen it. And that's just a fact. So all of this essentially is going to fall back onto the county when it comes to any of these terms. And that's maintenance, emergency services, and what we're allowing to happen. So those are my specific points I want to make. And I drive this county road every day. I'm going there tomorrow all the time. Of course, I don't want a wall, but that's aside from the point. The point is these roads really, I hope this policy is strong enough to protect our citizens and our landowners. Sorry. I think I'm done.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Yolanda.
Anybody else online?
Catherine?
Catherine?
Hi, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to echo what a lot of other folks have shared, Yolanda, Micah, Jenna. These, contractors that are currently trying to use the road, they've demonstrated they don't respect our laws or regulations or private property, just to name a few things. If you give an inch, they will take a mile. So I urge y'all to keep that in mind when you're writing these policies. And I also urge y'all to prioritize, again, I'm, repeating what other folks have said, but prioritize protecting the county and protecting your citizens and neighbors, and not facilitating or making things easier for these contractors to come in and use up resources and abuse our homes. In terms of weight limit, I have also witnessed, they're filling up water, semi trucks full of water from a well in Jeff Davis County, and then they're driving it on county roads to another county. And those, just from a rough estimate, those semis full of water probably weigh like 80,000 pounds. So yeah, they don't care. They'll rip up the road, they'll leave it destroyed. And, after the wall contractors comes data centers, comes rare earth mining, which are all, detrimental to our communities. So yeah, just thank y'all for this careful consideration and for the opportunity to speak and for answering our questions. It's not always like that in some other counties. They won't answer questions. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, please just protect the county over making things easier for these contractors. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks, Catherine.
Okay, let's see. Would anybody else like to speak? I don't see any more hands.
All right, so does anyone, before I move on to the next agenda item, does anyone have anything else they want to add? So, please.
Can I ask one quick question? You said something about a 20,000 pound weight limit for a class 1 road. Is that something that's typically in place in Texas, or is that something that's currently?
You should go and study the Texas Transportation Code. That's where I get a lot of information. And every year, each county has to identify what roads are county roads. And it asks us to identify the type of road it is. Is it a one path, 2 paths? So I just looked up Chispa Road, which is a first class type of road. And then I Googled, and you're absolutely correct, Commissioner, that maybe that information is out of date. But when I Googled what is the weight limit on a first class county road in Texas, that's where I got the figures.
Okay. And as far as enforcing it, what I can say this with a level of confidence. I suspect we've never enforced any limits on our county roads. So,
We don't have the resources.
well, I go back to the same thing. We haven't had this kind of activity. I mentioned the CDP construction. That's one in a lifetime. It's going to be there forever. But again, if we would have been proactive, we probably could have addressed some of it already. But here we are, and that's all we're trying to do. Just be proactive. So I'll go ahead and move on, unless one of the other commissioners has something to add. I'm going to go ahead and move on to agenda item number 12. Discussion and possible action to approve Presidio County's use of the Texas Association of Counties Artificial Intelligence Training Course to satisfy the annual training requirements under Government Code 2054.5191. It's a statute that requires all county employees, elected officials, appointed officials who have access to local government computer and database and use a computer to perform at least 25% of their job duties to complete an AI training certified by the Texas Department of Information Resources.
Yes, Judge, we usually do I brought the cybersecurity training course. This is an addition that was brought this year that is now the duty of counties to perform. So I'm gonna sign up for this training course, and I've sent out an email to everybody to bear with me. I don't know what it looks like. I don't, no, I've never done this before, so this would be my first time, but I'll reach out to you. You reach out to me if y'all need anything, so.
And you already have a list of everybody that you
Yes.
for cybersecurity
Yes.
training. So if you have to do cybersecurity training with the county,
It's the
you're
same
probably
thing.
gonna have to do this
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
Oh, you can't just do it for us and we can call it good?
No.
All right.
Okay, discussion? Motions? I'll I'll make a motion that we approve Presidio County to use the Texas Association of Counties Artificial Intelligence training to satisfy the government code.
Yes. Thank
I'll
you.
second that.
I have a second by Commissioner Hernandez. And all in favor?
Aye.
Agenda item number 13, discussion with action to approve an assignment of a golf course short-term management agreement dated November 12, 2025 to High Desert Golf Group.
Okay, that's mine. As we all know, currently the High Desert Golf Group has a short-term management contract on the golf course up in North County. And they finally got their name figured out, and they are wanting to apply for a permit to sell alcohol through TABC. But our original agreement had them listed under a different name.
The fraud.
It was a curly cup.
Curly Cup Gummy.
Yeah, curly cup. It's a plant. It's actually pretty cool. So all this is that I'm asking y'all to approve the assignment of the correct name so that then this group can go to the TABC and get liquor license. Does that sum it up?
Yeah, so, earlier this year, y'all already approved the assignment, but it was to High Desert Golf Inc.
Yeah.
And, it's High Desert Golf Group is what the final term was, and usually small distributor errors are a big deal. It's at TABC, they're a huge deal. They make sure that you have a comma before LLC, they're that strict. So we're just doing this, to fix the scrivener's error.
This is housekeeping.
Who's like?
I don't know, Joe. You know, isn't that a Colorado beer?
We'll make a special request. Of course, like.
I don't think they honor.
So move.
So I have a motion to approve the assignment of a short-term management agreement with the new High Desert Golf Group.
I'll second
I
that.
have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Good.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Come play golf and drink beer.
Agenda item number 14, discuss with action to approve the using of $2,100 for the employee enrichment budget to cover the cost of the retirement celebration for the road and bridge manager, Ruben Cadastro. Is that enrichment budget, is that the TAC one that we get
Yes,
for the healthy?
yes, sir. So this is our employees' funds. So this was a request from Commissioner Sofia, so I added it into the budget, into the agenda. I believe Ruben Carrasco has been our road and bridge manager for over 12 years, and they are giving him a farewell retirement party. So they're requesting to use some of those funds to pay for some of that. Just as a reminder, no alcohol, it's still county guidelines have to be followed.
So we can legally do this.
Well, the way we do it is the employee, whoever's organizing this will purchase, will get receipt and will reimburse.
Okay.
What were you looking at?
It's employee enrichment, this is for mental health.
This is not,
This was for mental health.
This is for mental health.
Employee enrichment.
And you know, I mean, yeah, Ruben's been with us for 12 years and I like Ruben. 16.
16?
So are we, and I hate to be the devil's advocate, but are we setting a precedent? Will we be doing this for every employee?
if there's funds available from them, this is not county funds, this is funds that were earned by the employees.
Okay,
So once those funds run out, that's it.
so either we have the funds and depending upon if you select the right year to retire.
Then you get them.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, so the county cannot pay for parties, public funds cannot be used for parties or any private events. But this is monies that the employees earn through Healthy County and you can pretty much use them.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're legal.
It's the same money we use like for the 4th of July.
Yes, correct. And
Yeah.
we used stuff for the retirement party about 2 years ago, but we had more people in our turn. So just kind of why, once those funds run out, and if you have a retiree, the county cannot pay for that.
Got it. I'll make a motion. I move that, given all the information we just got, that we approve using up to $2,100 for the employee enrichment budget to cover the cost of retirement celebration for Ruben Carrasco.
Motion and second, all in favor? Thank you so much. Agenda item number 15, discussion with action to approve an interlocal cooperation agreement for road construction and maintenance operations between Presidio County, the city of Presidio, and the city of Marfa.
This one's me. I do have to make a change to this. We had a last minute change that occurred since I put this on the agenda. The city of Marfa did not end up wanting to become a part of a cooperative, a group cooperative for road construction. And so they bowed out of the agreement. And so I apologize for sending out the agreement quite late. These were, again, I sent the agreement to everyone almost 2 weeks ago. I didn't hear back from them instantly. So I sent out the agreement quite late. It does not include the city of Marfa. So the agreement, the new version that I've sent out, I think Patty, I sent it to you like an hour ago.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
seeing it. in
I
here.
don't have it printed out yet. I can.
No, and that's my bad. Once I hit 7 p.m., I have like mini trials tomorrow, so I've been slammed. So it's my fault. I should have gotten it late last night. I did not.
I asked our attorney about, because she told me about, Mayor Bryson not fitting for this agreement. And I have a meeting with him this week. So I don't, like I asked, our county attorney to just do it, Marco Casino, Marco. Same agreement, but
Has he taken, has Mayor Bryson taken it to the city council?
No.
no.
So we don't know how the city council feels as a whole. This was just, I received a phone call from their city attorney. This was like a long game of telephone, right? The city attorney said that he got the call from the mayor, who said that he didn't agree to the road cooperative where all three entities came together to work on roads together. Which is fine. I'm glad that we know about it before we got here. But I would say the last commissioners court meeting, y'all gave me the authorization to enter into an agreement. I just thought that this was going to be in final form, so I was like, I might as well just throw it on the agenda for today, even though I already have the authorization. But then, like I said, this came up, this last minute change came up very last minute, and now I'm kind of stuck in the middle. So there's a couple ways you can do it. If Obed wants to, because I still have the author, unless you deauthorize me, I still have the authorization to make changes to the agreement. So if Obed wants to wait and talk to Mayor Baeza, because if the agreement isn't still intended to be three entities coming together, it should be one agreement with all three of us together. Then we can just wait until your meeting with Mayor Baeza, and if he agrees to join, then I can go back to the prior version that we had last week, which had everyone on it together. And then if they are still not willing to do it, then I can go forward with it just being with the city of Presidio, if that's what you want. It's totally up to you how you want to move forward. And you can also give me instructions on, you authorize me to approve it if it has this, or you don't authorize me to approve it if it doesn't have this. So it's in your court how you want to proceed.
Here's what I'm looking for, and again, this is just the beginnings of an agreement. If we're not, nobody's obligated, you gotta do this, you gotta spend this, you gotta buy that. This is just a mechanism for us to come together, because if there's one place where I think all of the county residents and constituents agree, our roads suck. Yeah, they blow. I don't care if it's the city of Marfa, I don't care if it's the city of the city, I don't care if it's the county, they're not impressed. So this, I love the spirit of this, is to bring us together where we can have these conversations and say, what equipment do you have in your inventory? What expertise drivers do you have? Do you think we can get together and work on some projects together and get some things done? That's the intent of it. I'm hoping we can convince Mayor Baeza. There's no real intent.
I got an entry on and one is, so he doesn't have it clear.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to talk to him about.
And this really requires a good in-person meeting, so I think, yeah, give it time for all that to discuss with them.
I think once all the players know exactly what it is that we're trying to accomplish, I think they'll want to participate. Again, they're not obligated, we're not gonna twist anybody's arm, we're not gonna yank on their ears or anything, but we think it would be a good first place to start.
I would like to at least be able to review the document before, we go much further, and I understand you got a 11th hour notice that Martha pulled that off, but I too would like to, in the spirit of equity, that we have one document that has both cities and the counties on there, because we get a lot of pushback if we don't. So would it be too much heartburn to say that let's let you go talk to Manny? And I think having a face-to-face will go a long way. And that we bring this proposal back at the next meeting when we have both the city of Presidio and hopefully the city of Marfa.
Of course, about that, obviously, anything y'all instruct me to do, I'm going to do. Because we're coming into budget season, we're about to have meetings every week. That makes it a little bit easier to kind of come back the next week, to do these. Although agenda-wise, it's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
So sorry, Tennessee.
It'll be all right. It's not my first rodeo.
The first rodeo with this new 3-day meeting, it's gonna.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
I have a question, Commissioner, is this supposed to be approved by the commissioners and then the judge, and then the city of Presidio?
Well, everyone has different styles, Bianca. And, like when we were doing the ambulance, what we did is, as you recall, we went to the cities first to work everything out once the cities were comfortable with it. And then we brought that document and approved it at the county commissioner level. But this is Commissioner Escontradas, his agenda item. So he's just doing it differently than I did mine.
And I like a radical avenue of procedure. In a perfect world, we would all already have a final contract before we put that on the agenda. But a lot of times, we're also working on those contracts before the agenda goes out. So by the time the meeting comes up, it's like, oh, actually, they came back, they want to make changes or whatever. And so a lot of times we don't have. You're not working with a ton of time, and they're kind of doing that thing.
And I only asked because I heard that Mayor from Marfa doesn't want to or isn't planning on meeting this week. And I speak for the council, another council member here, that we aren't aware of this either.
It's on your agenda.
For this one, yes, but it hasn't been. And I know it's in the works. I know that Leyva is also aware of it, but as of right now, our city isn't aware.
So you're probably like me, you'd like to see the document and what everything entails. And we have time. This isn't a rush. And as Blair pointed out, we're meeting weekly.
Yeah.
So I think that it's just.
We have.
I saw that one from this.
And we have talked to Mayor Ferguson, talked to the city administrator, we have talked to Cesar Leyva. But it's just, again, it's just general conversation. It's about an idea of what we can do to come together. So it's not meant to offend anybody. It's a city councilman that didn't know what's going on. This is just something that we're going to try to put together and see if we can make it work.
It's a great idea. No doubt about it, but I just think it needs to be fully baked before we start approving things. Is that what you're saying?
Thank you. So I have it on here as a discussion action.
I move that we table this until the next meeting and things are.
Ms. Parker, you nodding your head.
I do, yes.
I have a motion at table. Do I have a second?
I want to continue and do it so that they can finish their job. And she'll send you a copy of the intro. I think that's easy.
What? No, I
Are you-
haven't. Yeah, no, I haven't.
Let me go back to I have a motion table, it dies for lack of a second. And then would you like to make a new motion?
Yes, I have a motion to continue and approve this. Of the grant, get that in the grant and instruction.
Okay,
You together, I can hear you, sorry.
so it's a motion to approve the interlocal cooperative agreement for road construction and maintenance operation between Residual County, the city of Montecito, and the city of Monterey. As it
Well-
reads. It still gives you the ability to go back and make.
Okay, just not the one that I sent today, because that's.
So I have a motion, I have a second, all in favor? All opposed?
I'm gonna oppose, and I wanna make a statement, that we as commissioners need to make sure that we're offering things that are fully baked and that we review things, and that's why I'm opposing that. Do I agree with the concept? Absolutely. But I wanna be really clear that why I'm opposing it is, no, I have not seen it of that. And that's not how you treat fellow commissioners.
Yeah, no.
So, one of the reasons I think about this is because Mr. Diaz was the one that came with that bottom line. So we're the ones that have to take the first step and say, you know what, we're willing to work with the city of Castillo and the city of Martin. One of us doesn't want to work with the county, that's okay. But I think we need to take that first step and then get to see what goes to the city of Martin.
But Margarita, you heard that only the mayor was saying it hasn't even been brought
So, yeah.
to the full council. You have two council members here in Presidio that didn't know about it.
That's something that's not gonna stop us because we're the ones that are planning on that project, you know, working together.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons that project is gonna work is because if we have an emergency, a disaster or something, we're gonna have to wait till they make a meeting and make a decision, we can help them when we can. And if we have it, you know, everything is, we have a attorney.
I got you, so you're approving something you've never seen.
The spirit of
We're.
I'm for the spirit of it, but I just like to see documents.
I go back to the same thing. I agree with you. In theory, could the city of Castillo say, we don't want it, and Marco could say, we don't want it. But we took, I think, to Commissioner Hernandez's point, this is just us coming together saying, we want to push this forward. It may not go anywhere. That's all. It's just the first step.
Yes.
So I'll move on to agenda item number 16, discussion with action to approve a grant agreement with the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts for Rural Ambulance Services Grant and award that was given to the county in the amount of $500,000. Mr. Bill Raymond, thank you so much for all the work you do.
There's still work to be done on this grant, but we're very lucky that the state has considered us. As the comptroller always does, they send around these form standardized grant agreements to the entities who are receiving grants, because the comptroller's office is the entity that oversees all the grants, or most of the grants, not all, for the state of Texas, and they're the grant administrators. So this is very routine, it's a very standardized agreement, the same agreement we do for SB 22,
That's how it ended up on this agenda, is that the comptroller is asking me to accept the grant agreement. And before I can accept it, we're here in Commissioner's Court for you guys to give me permission to enter into that.
Yes. And just as a commentary, this is $500,000 for the use on ambulances, whether it's a new ambulance or renovations or work. Refurbishing on an existing ambulance. Though we recently got instructions from the comptroller's office that this would have to be an ambulance that the county owns. We can't funds like we originally thought, we can't give the funds to the city. Because the city's, in our current circumstance, the city is who owns the ambulances. The county doesn't own ambulances, we contract with the cities, for them to provide the service on behalf of the county as an interlocal agreement. So, this one's gonna be a little tricky, we're gonna have to figure out how we wanna run with this, we can't give them the money in order for them to refurbish their own ambulance, so now it's gonna have to be.
How much is the ambulance?
I don't know.
$456,000.
What if we use this money to buy a new one, like a backup, for both seats? Sometimes
Yeah.
there's a big accident or.
I'm gonna have to
This
see.
this has to go to the city of Presidio.
Oh, I thought they said that it's gonna go to the county.
Well, the county,
The county, the grant is the county's, but to be used for the city of Presidio. However, we're gonna have to work out how we're gonna do all that.
I have a question. Does that mean we have to insure it?
Yes,
Now,
it's our asset.
it's our asset.
And we can't, I thought like, oh, what if we could just buy it and then just donate it to them? Nope, we have to own it for at least 10 years. The state of Texas will audit us now on the ambulance, on the actual asset. And it's depreciated.
So if I may, first of all, I want to thank Karina. When we really sat down and looked at the application and pushed it through, we were awarded. So that's a big success and an awesome accomplishment for the county. I do want to add that the $500,000 will have to be kept by the county. And when the application actually went through, you had to be able to decide if you wanted to place either City of Presidio EMS services or City of Marfa EMS services in a ranked choice. And when it came down to making that decision with the committee and all that, we placed the City of Presidio EMS in the first one. So basically, this agreement and within it, we'll also have to have a sub-agreement that goes with the City of Presidio, because the ambulance will basically be in their jurisdiction or theirs. And the county as a sponsor.
So they will be the service, it'll still be in the county's jurisdiction, but they are the service provider that would be handling the ambulance on behalf of the county. The state made it way more difficult than it had to be, of course, because it's the state, right? Why would they make things simple?
We'll reach out to the Big Bend Regional Hospital district.
Yeah.
Because they had the same thing. They had a little, those vans.
Sprinter van.
Sprinter van. And it was the same thing, it was a grant, and then they were awarded it, and then they did it. Right, so we'll look into exactly how that mechanism works. Again, I don't even think, I think the city insures that Sprinter van. And so I don't know if there's a way around it, there could be.
We can make it in our contract reimbursement for the insuring costs. That's fine, I'm not worried about.
And that's something that'll have to be looked at, as well as, maybe other benefits and options to the actual service, but I'll bring that up in the next meeting. One thing pertaining to the item, yesterday, Karina got a really important notice that has some minimum requirements that have to go into this sub-agreement, and I sent it over, so.
We're not entering into the agreement for many reasons, but
Agreement
also
with some
because
agreements.
Right.
it's a state.
Yeah.
Cross all your T's and dot your I's.
Let's do
I'm gonna move that we approve the grant agreement with the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts for Rural Ambulance Service Grant Program Award 1A, all those zeros, 2826, in the amount of $500,000.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you again, Commissioner Rodriguez. Agenda item number 17, discussion with action to approve a request for proposal for requesting and accepting sealed bids for the sale of a 5-acre tract of county-owned unimproved property located in the Norfolk Parks area.
I'm gonna have to table this. I put it on the agenda under the hopes that I would get the appraisal back yesterday, and I have again, which is okay. But I'll bring it, once I get that appraisal, I'll bring it back.
But you already, somebody already went and looked at it and.
Yes. Yes,
Yes,
at the last Commissioners Court meeting, y'all approved for me to enter into an engagement agreement with an independent appraiser out of San Antonio. He's already viewed the property. It just, commercial appraises take several weeks to come out, so. just waiting for that.
Okay. Sounds good. So,
Motion to table,
I'll, oh, yeah. I'll second.
I have a motion to table, I have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Executive session.
I think we need number 17. Number 17?
That was just.
Oh, we
motion to
table it? Okay.
Motion to table, seconded.
So, I'm gonna ask everybody to step out of the building, please. Okay.
So, agenda item number 18 is to, go for the commissioners and the judge to go into executive session, and convene under the Texas Government Code Section 551.074. We can discuss personnel matters, appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment of duties, discipline, or dismissals of a public officer or employee. So with that, I'll ask you all, please. I don't know if we have anywhere else to go. I think we're gonna have to come right back here.
Yeah, yes, I think we're gonna have to ask everybody to step out so y'all can discuss.
And then we'll reconvene. The only major names items on there's a budget workshop. If you guys want to hang around for that. And then some announcements and administrative update from the commissioner. So this was. Welcome back, everybody. It is now 1:27 p.m. We don't have very much left on our budget or on our plate. Well, I guess the big one.
Yeah.
More budget presentations. But I'm gonna reconvene agenda item number 19. I'm reconvening into, court, and no action will be taken while we discuss the executive session. So we'll move on to agenda item number 20. And it's a discussion, budget workshops, department budget presentation. Is there anyone in the audience that has a budget presentation to make?
Okay, so we do have a few. The jail will be presenting their budget, as well as the airport, road and bridge, which is Commissioner Escamillas. Let me make sure I go over my notes. Justice of the Peace too, she wanted to put in her budget, so she asked me to text her.
I just texted.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the constables will be doing that as well. So
Are they
if
gonna
any,
be doing it virtually?
yes, sir. So I don't know who wants to go first. Maybe Andrea?
Andrea, are you there?
Yes, I'm
Tuesday.
not quite ready to present yet. I'll go in a little later. I have something going on right now. Give me just a minute. I'll go after the next person.
She is in there. And on the drive, you will see those department worksheets that they submitted, and it's divided by folders.
Andrea, can you talk real fast so I can make sure that we can hear you?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Well, it's been lit. Hers has been lit up this whole.
Hello?
No, why is it connected? Hold on just a second. Let me see. Select the speaker. You should be able to hear her.
Ask Chase.
Chase, would you mind speaking, Chase?
Yes, I'm ready. I'm not sure what all.
Okay, we still can't hear. Hold on just a second.
Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Are we having technical difficulties?
Yes, just on sound.
I'll let you go on, Ms. Sanchez. I know you were gonna say, is there anything else?
Yes, so while they get that, I can go ahead and talk about this will be part of non-departmental. This is a budget. So they sent a draft agreement, well, not the agreement, the budget part. I think we'll have to revise that agreement from last year, Judge, and have them do a new agreement, because I think it was only a 1 year.
Yeah.
But Judge Kimball is revising his budget with Brewster County as the fiscal agent. Presidio County's portion would be increasing from $75,000 to $88,253. So that is an increase of $13,253 for that part of the budget for the district judge. There's going to be an increase. This part comes out of non-departmental. It's not part of the agreement between Presidio County and Brewster County. Is the visiting judges. So that will go up from $2,090 to $10,000. He's also requesting to increase the budget for visiting court reporters from $1,500 to $5,000, and an increase for representation. This could be attorneys, appointed attorneys for indigent defense, CPS cases, and that one is going to be increased by $10,000. So the district court budget will be increasing a total of $34,662.12 for fiscal year 27. 66.2. And I'm not sure. I'll talk to them about that new agreement. On the worksheet that you have on your drive, if you can go there to, it's request fiscal year 27 file. And on there, you updated all the requests from every department. So we have the staffing request, which we already went over those, but I updated the spreadsheet with the commissioners' request for auto allowance in the amount of $20,000, and to the VA officer auto allowance in the amount of $5,000. So at the end, you'll see the cost of an increase, because we still have to pay, because that'll go, the allowance will be part of their wages. So we do have to pay FICA in retirement for those increases. It's spreadsheet that says request. So I updated the spreadsheet with those. The other ones, we already went over them. We also have the election administrator on there. So if you have any questions on that, let me know. And you can scroll over the tabs for the workbook, and we'll have other services, and every department requests for other services. And then you can keep going to operating and maintenance, general supplies requests, service contract licenses requests, unbudgeted major project requests, capital outlay requests, and capital project requests. So I did a total because I thought it would make it easier for everybody to see what their requests for fiscal year are. None of this is funded. It's not part of the budget as of right now. So the total for request is $6 million. You know what?
That's a way, that's not.
Yeah. It's $6,563,980. So you're requesting over $6 million. This does not include any wages or operating expenses that we currently have. This is just requests. So obviously what this means is in the next meetings, you'll have to start cutting some of this stuff. Going over every one of those budgets that is requesting and really looking into, are we really needing to approve any of this requests? Obviously, we have some requests that are already enforced on us, but some of these ones are, things that people will, they want us to approve or they want you guys to approve, but is it really necessary? You really have to take into account your actual needs.
Can I ask about this Alamiro Bridge?
Yeah, so we are currently under contract with that. We have an agreement with TxDOT for, it's a pedestrian bridge, and we have a match. I think the match was like $300 and something thousand. We've already paid $45,000. So what I was explaining to the judge is the agreement said that the county, the next phase, has to pay up front, which is the remainder of that, which is about $270,000. So that we already have to budget for.
So where is this happening?
That is up in Marfa. It's near the library.
Yeah, it says you're going to Vizcaíno Park, that bridge before you get to San Cipuedes.
Yeah. So they're adding a pedestrian wall because it's just a bridge so people can't cross. So they have to walk on the road and all that stuff. I'm not sure who's following up on that project. I believe Commissioner Knight, but I am not sure. But the next phase in the contract is the match of $270,000. So you do have to budget for that.
So, and it was a project started by Commissioner King. And at the time when we started going through it, we didn't think we were going to spend that much. It was a Safe Street project, the same one that we did here this year. And the court approved it. And we had a projected number. But that's when we found out, we didn't know until later, that's when we found out that the city had been undesignated as a low and moderate income. And so it raised our match was going to be like 4%, it went up to like 7%.
Yeah.
So that's why, that's that discrepancy. And all of a sudden, like, whoa, man, we wanted it, but we didn't think it was going to cost us that much. So I don't know if Commissioner Knight has done anything with it. I can call TxDOT and I'll see, let me see where it's at.
Yes, sir.
Is it, I think it's been approved, I think we started it, but there's no construction.
Nothing, not really.
And it's, but what, 2 years?
2 years, probably almost 3 years.
So again, I don't know, does the court want us to look at it and say, is it in the queue? I mean, start, it's something, well, it didn't happen. What do you guys do? And just don't give me an answer, just start thinking about it. It's something that you're looking for. I guess I have homework, I'll find out from TxDOT.
Yes, sir.
Where we're at.
Okay, yeah, let me see. Shauna, are you there? Shauna, can you talk? Let's see here, where'd you go? Did she get kicked out?
I think she dropped.
Oh, I'm on.
I'm sure I wouldn't probably have any money, but I'm sure there's a project.
Chase, can you go ahead and talk?
I'll send it to you. Yeah. Let me make a note.
Yes.
We have Judge Bishop here.
Oh, yeah, go ahead,
Do you
Judge.
want to address the court?
Chase, can you speak real fast?
Yes.
I'm
yes,
still not
I'm-
picking up.
I'm
on
here.
you.
Judge,
My budget stays the same for this coming year, except for furniture. I need to purchase, and that's about it. I just did, on the not software, but I thought trying to versions instead of that's what I need. What was it that is coming something?
For the cost of the yearly, the yearly subscription for the software. The first year was because it was installation and it was all the training, so that was a higher cost, so that's gonna come down.
Yeah, it came down. And also,
For the
yeah, from 20.
29, I think we had 29 per JP, so this will be for the 2 JPs.
Yeah, I thought. From September, the first that we got that program to now, revenue $378,000. So the program is working really good. We're able to collect money and the process is very high tech software, but it's once you get it, it's so fast. So thank you guys for letting us have that book. Also on for unbudgeted major projects, major computers and laptops are the ones that we use for IT, and something goes down, it's for our money. It's, usually we have to transfer from a budget to this one to pay, but that's, if it's a budget, we don't have any problems, it should be okay. But when we do, that cost is expensive.
Yes. So if we don't go into contract with any IT services provider, it's becoming more costly for them to call in an IT, and I mean, just to set up one computer, they wanted to charge her over $1,000. So that's just kind of contingent on that IT.
So if we do enter into that contract, that will go away.
Yes. We'll keep some for repairs because obviously they need to be able to repair any equipment that they have, but you won't need $5,000.
No, it depends, because just coming down from neighborhood construction mileage, and then hourly, and well, it looks like $400.
And Judge, the hotspots, is that because sometimes internet's down here?
Yes, or something, there's a glitch, he's able to be right there on the spot, but he's a little bit more, Javi?
The backup system, hotspot?
No, it's an IT service.
It's just an IT business here.
Your internet is through hotspot.
No, big Ben.
That's what I'm saying. Hotspot is your backup.
No, hotspot is the vendor. He's a vendor. He's like a computer. He's an IT guy. But I used it only, well, I used it before then. I used Nectar, I used him because he was a little cheaper than Supreme. But that's about it. Everything else is fine.
Okay, let's try this one more time.
You guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
Constable, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I have no idea. Hold on.
Can you hear
Server
me?
connected.
Can you hear me? I don't think they hear me now.
No, I don't think they can.
I'm able to hear you, but they're not able to hear you there at the meeting. Oh, okay. Thanks, Chase.
Okay. Constable, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
You include the benefits. I know.
Okay. Speak again, please.
Can you hear me now?
have been kicking the can down
Testing,
the
1,
road
2.
for equipment for road and bridge.
Can you speak
So
again?
we're talking about
Hello?
visiting with
Can you hear me?
not just about
Nothing?
Check
maybe
again.
a lease
Where it went.
option or a, kind of what we did not too long ago when we bought.
It says we're here.
We bought that motor grader, we did it in installments of five
Output,
years and
input,
one payment a year and then.
Can hear you loud and clear.
So we're thinking about doing that on a little bigger scale. They don't have a road. And in our
I think we'd have to
conversations
ask
with
John.
we can play it all day long. But the truth is, if you don't water it, all of it.
We might have to,
If you blade the road, it'll probably be good for about a month. If you blade, water, and compact, it's gonna be good for 6 months. And they haven't had the equipment. Some of the other things, they can't even move their head. Imagine being a road and bridge operator, and you're trying to move a motor grader from here to Candelaria, going at 4 miles an hour. It's a very inefficient way. Those vehicles are not meant to be driven on the highway like the way we've been doing it. They don't have trailers, they don't have trucks that can carry them. So again, I don't know if we can fill all of them, but we would like to make some.
Start date, step down in.
Yeah.
I think it's more like an lease purchase program, better than buying, because that way, like in a 3 or 5 year deal, you can get a new machine. About that. Yeah.
Well, and priorities change, right? So why do we want to buy this equipment and all of a sudden you don't?
But sometimes with leasing, what you have to make sure is that we're not sure we can lease this equipment, but vehicles, you're gonna make sure on the mileage. So you don't know if the leasing companies will allow you to lease based on the mileage, like the road and bridge has to do in Presidio County. But I am on the talks with, I'm waiting on a quote for up to $1 million of lease equipment, not lease, finance equipment, for 5-year, 10-year term, financing options for some of that equipment that is needed. I'm also looking into leasing vehicles, but one of the cons that they might come with that is the mileage.
Yeah, I asked the guys yesterday about the mileage in the newer trucks, they're 2020, they're almost 107,000.
Yeah. So with leasing, a lot of that is like you only are allowed to drive certain amount of miles and all that. But we'll find out more. I'm waiting on that because I do see some of this request. So I guess for you guys for the next meeting, just kind of go over this list of the things that you really, really need and start, cutting out. Pretty much the next phase of this. I don't know, Commissioner Escobar, you want to go over your request, or you want to wait? Are they good to go?
Yeah, that's weird, because mine is
the
bigger
longest.
wish list.
yeah,
And,
I might have to use cause John's not here. It's his equipment.
I texted him already, so.
Okay, Constable, will you speak again?
Are you able to hear me now?
No.
Still not?
This constable, Martha, constable, SB22,
His
son, same thing.
Well, you know what? Maybe if we just needed to go to the TV, actually. Because we just can't hear it.
I know, once again, it's not my equipment that I'm used to setting up.
Did you like having the meeting here?
Yeah, I don't mind it. It
Did you
was
think
pretty.
it's better than the little annex?
It's yeah.
I mean, it's weird for us to be on good. I'm gonna accommodate us.
Yes, it's just.
Okay, so we can,
Some other
because
things
it's
that-
there, it's part of the budget.
I know
I'm trying to get it to my.
Some of the commissioners the facility that, the new textile facility.
Hear me now?
That was built in Presidio. Oh my God, it's huge.
You want to talk again, Steve?
Can you hear me?
It's a great building. What's gonna happen this year is they're going to announce that the old building is surplus. It sits, if you've never seen it, it sits right between the EMS fire station, and it's right next door. It has a excellent gate fence around it. It's very secure. The building is not all that. I mean, it's not a big building. It's like 2,000 square feet. But they're gonna designate it as surplus. And the trigger, so what they'll do is TxDOT will go to the city of Fresno. Are you interested in buying? Now, they could, or they could not. I don't know that they have the money to. I suspect, and I'm gonna throw a number out there, I think it's gonna go for about $150,000. But it'll be money.
Since my speaker's
The city of Presidio says we don't want it, they would have first dibs. Then the county is this. So with that in mind, I would just like to designate some monies that we may or may not spend, but at least address it within the budget that will give us that option if it does become available. I think it would be a great place to house the sheriff's office, the troopers. They're still keeping up with this stuff. They're seizing a lot of vehicles. I got some more news on that. Currently, there's 2 legal crossings for Plan Migrante traffic. Obviously, one is Presidio, the other one is Los Indios in the valley. The Mexican government just did a sting operation and they arrested the current port director on the Mexican side and his 2 previous directors just got arrested for fraud, theft, and a bunch of other things. Along with that, they arrested some Plan Migrante operators on the American side. And it created a whole shitstorm. So apparently, the agreement that Mexico has with the United States under USMCA was Mexico will designate which port of entry will allow transatlantic traffic, and then the Americans only get to decide. We're only going to give you one port of entry. Now, when Presidio was designated, there was an agreement made under the Biden administration to allow Los Indios to continue to operate. I think their reasoning was Presidio wasn't ready for the influx of traffic. Conversation apparently is going for they're going to shut down Los Indios. And the only official port of entry for transatlantic traffic will be Presidio, which will mean it cannot quadruple the traffic that we have going on now. So it would just, so we can anticipate, with that in mind, we can anticipate more vehicle seizures, more everything else that comes with it. I don't know.
So you want me to, kind of add that? And what was your estimate of that?
150. I don't know if it would be under the sheriff's office budget or if it would be under.
No, it would probably be, well, yeah, but capital under which department? Because you have to break it down into a department.
Could we put it in a non-discretionary fund?
We could probably.
Want to allocate it towards maybe property purchases or real estate purchases?
We would probably have to create like a different fund.
Yeah.
Because technically it doesn't fall under the sheriff unless he's gonna manage it that. It's kind of more like, kind of like our courthouse and kind of like the annex. It's gonna be its own one, so we can create a fund for that. Because you're gonna need maintenance, I'm assuming, and whatever else is required. So it would probably be best to create its own fund.
I think, and it's tough to make these decisions, and that's a big number. 6 million is a big number. But I go back, I do know we have reserve money. Not that I want to go get it all, but we do have some reserve money. I do know we have the 1.2 million allocated for ARPA. I think 400,000 was spent on the fire station in March, but 200,000 to right or wrong on the employees, which money well spent. We have 600,000 left that could maybe go toward road and bridge or this purchase. We also have a pending sale of 5 acres. What will it bring? We don't know yet, but it could be significant. It could be 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 dollars. Again, so it could be one of those things where we're just kind of playing a shell game. And so this, what we bought this, or we use it for this.
Right. I think that's why financing would be probably your best bet for that equipment rather than spending all your fund, your reserves.
Yeah.
You kind of finance that stuff, and then the building obviously is different.
Ms. Sanchez and I talked about getting a little creative, and she was gonna look into, if we could borrow our own money. If we can go to our investment pool and say, we want to borrow $1 million of our own money, and we're gonna pay ourselves back. We're gonna pay whatever, 100,000. And then that way we'll probably get a special interest rate. We won't generate interest money, but we're paying ourselves back. It's not unlike, for those of you who have your own case, those are mechanisms for which you can borrow your own money and then you pay yourself back.
So I know that the chief deputy is all on board with the tech block building. Is the sheriff as well, or does that need to happen?
It does. Okay, it does. And we're just talking in preparation. So no.
Right.
No. Yeah.
So we haven't talked to the sheriff.
I have talked to about projects, about all kinds of things, about multi-jurisdictional law enforcement center, about earmark. So over the course of 2 years, 3 years, we've been having conversations about, do they have adequate space and facility? And the consensus is no, we don't have it. So I think this is something, and again, all I'm asking for from the court is, can we set some money aside? We're still gonna have to all come together and agree it's a good fit for us, and it's our name. All this can go away, the city of Fresno said, we're gonna buy it, and go, game on.
Right, so the which budget it belongs to, that can be the last thing to figure out. Because if the sheriff is gonna participate in it, it can go under the sheriff, which would make more sense. So we can iron those details out once you kind of figure out, hey, yeah, we're gonna fund this, and then we can allocate it to the department. So I don't know, because it's not working. I can go kind of over what they're trying to present here. So for Chase at the airport, he has requested $40,000. This is a 90-10 grant, and it's $40,000 for, and this is for the engineering design taxiway at the airport. He's also requesting 2 vehicles from, let me go there. It's cars for the airport, you know, the little cars that they lend out to pilots and whatever goes into the airport, and they're certified pre-owned. And he's purchased vehicles that way before, which has been working out great. So that's maybe an option for you guys to look into. You're looking into buying vehicles, any other type of vehicle for the county. They're certified pre-owned, and they've been working out great for the airport. So I think those are his requests. I'm not sure if he has anything else. And he probably does, because he sent me a big thing on his budget, and I can see him here. But unfortunately, Chase, I can't hear you. But maybe next meeting he can come and follow up.
And is that, those vehicles, are they just for the Marfa Airport? I'm guessing there's not enough being in the city.
I'm not sure how they divide that.
I believe they have one vehicle station at this airport.
Yeah. Maybe I can call him.
Yeah, you could call them and put them on. I'm probably gonna have to do that to
Let me call him.
the jail and
The uniqueness of this one is the designation of the international
Oh, I have no signal.
airport.
It's SOS.
what's this one?
Make a pit stop there to do a declaration, see who's out there. And they have any avocados, when you're jump off. So.
Okay. I was gonna call, but I have no signal on my phone.
No, that's okay. It's okay.
I'm calling him right now.
I don't know. I'm going off on a.
Hi, Chase.
Hello.
Let me turn my volume down so I get the feedback.
Okay.
All right. So on those vehicles, what I'm suggesting is that we start offering rentals. There used to be, there's been off and on rentals at Presidio Airport, but there's been pretty consistent rentals available at Marfa, but they've all kind of quit. And ground transportation is a huge part of an airport being able to function properly. So I haven't looked into all of the different obstacles we'll have to get over to have a rental vehicle, the number one would be insurance. But so I just want it in the budget, and then I won't do anything without talking to you guys again and explain what we're doing. And also the thing I wanted to say was that none of this comes out of general fund. The airports are 100% self-sustaining. This is all coming out of airport funding. And I wouldn't be asking for it if I didn't think it would also be self-sustaining, certainly at Marfa. And we might start with one and try it out and see how it goes. If it does, add a second one for Presidio Airport. But we actually lose a lot of business to neighboring airports because they want to come into one of our county airports. But when there's no rental vehicle, they end up going to Alpine. And so Alpine just gets richer and richer, and we're struggling. At least in this case, but we should be able to rent those vehicles for somewhere around $100 a day. It wouldn't take but 1 or 2 rentals a month to make it pay for itself, I believe, in terms of paying for the insurance and maintenance, and we want to buy good quality vehicles so that maintenance costs should be minimal.
Well, Chase, you answered my question. I was wondering if it was for Presidio Airport as well. So I'm guessing you're going to roll it out in Marfa.
Marfa's critical. There's people that request rentals there pretty much almost every week. I mean, there's nothing consistent. There's never been enough rental business to support a company coming in and starting a rental. And so, and if there was, well, they would have already done it. And some have, but then they do it for a year or two, and then they've kind of all faltered. There's a rental agency in Alpine that will bring cars over, but they charge like $150 just to bring the car over to Marfa. And so people just go, forget it, we'll just go to Alpine. And they end up going over there and spending their money at hotels and restaurants and all that stuff in Alpine instead of staying in Marfa. So that's why I think it's beneficial to the economy, and I don't think it will be a draw on the airport budget. I think they'll pay for themselves. Can't guarantee that, but that's what I think, or I wouldn't have proposed it.
Is it like Turo? What's that called?
Turo, yeah, there is a Turo, and I don't. It's good that you mentioned that. I haven't looked up to see if there's a Turo availability in Marfa or not. That's something that we've wanted, and I would love it if somebody would do that. But every time I've looked, especially on short notice, I've never found one available.
Thanks, Chase.
You're welcome.
And it looks like you're just kind of keeping the rest of your budget for FY 27 as it was last year.
Everything gets the same. Working pretty well. So. And of course, just to reiterate, our break-even operating expenses are somewhere around $250,000 a year, and we're bringing in $350,000. So we're getting close to $100,000 surplus every year, and that's good because that means. Okay, so on this project, this coming year is just for design. And TxDOT is estimating $330,000 for design, but they haven't hired an engineering firm yet. So I just wanted to overshoot that a little bit in case the negotiated price went higher than they said. That's the reason I said $40,000, which would be 10% of $400,000. And then the construction will be the following year, and it's something like $2.7 million. So the county's match will be $270,000. We have that much money in the airport fund right now. I don't want to use very much of that money, but I'm asking. The only thing I'm asking in addition is to let's try a rental car, and if it works, we may end up getting 2, one for each airport. But we'll start with Marfa. It's less guaranteed to be sustainable at Presidio. In fact, Judge, you know how many rentals you had, while you were off in 1 years ago. It's probably going to be around the same number of people that come and request them. But once they know it's there and it's consistent, we expect that activity to increase over the next couple of years.
Chase, the request, are you going to do the request to the city of Marfa for the hotel motel tax? Or is that something one of the commissioners or judges do?
I'm happy to talk to Mark Morrison, who's the city council member, and That was a couple of months ago, and he said, it's in the budget. He goes, I'll check on it. So, you know, I've never approached them about that. I don't know if somebody else has. If they're paying, they're just kind of doing it automatically. If you need me to go talk to him, I will, but I don't really know anybody there other than Mark Morrison.
Okay, just because last year they did request that somebody from the county went over to the council and asked for these funds. That's why it's budgeted. So I'm assuming it's gonna be the same thing this year. So maybe one of the commissioners, maybe Commissioner Heisler, would wanna do that with you.
If you can provide any answers to any detailed questions they may have.
And it's 35,000.
Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar. I used to be the chair of the Hawk Fund through the city of Marfa.
Perfect sense, and you know exactly what the rules are there.
I do. Unless the judge would like to go in front of them.
No, that's fine. I'm good with that. And, you know, they can be willing to give us more.
Yeah.
It's money that they need to
It's, I think there's language in that legislative that says a dollar amount.
Yeah, there's a dollar amount. I don't know if that's the answer. I know they can only do it for certain items, but if they already designated the airport as one of them, we can go back and show them economically how much benefit it has. Maybe they'll need to give us.
Yes. And it has as much impact on the Marfa economy as it is on the county economy. In fact, it probably more affects Marfa, and that's why they, you know, that was the, of course, a lot of the members there weren't there when we got this bill passed, you know, or I should say Dan Dunlap is the one that really kind of drove that, but it's definitely, you know, the idea is that it puts heads in beds, and it has definitely done that. So, shouldn't be an issue. If we need to go explain it to them again, I'd be happy to go with you. And I just need a little bit of notice to know when.
And it is in their budget.
No, for this year.
Oh, we haven't gotten it
No,
this year.
we just sent a letter from the judge's office to request a contribution for fiscal year 26.
Okay.
There needs to be one for fiscal year 27.
So, yeah, I think it's worth an effort to go and say, would you guys be willing, these are the projects, these are the, we're deferring, this is our project with the airport this year, but if you guys are willing to invest the monies, the match monies, 10 cents on the dollar, then we may be able to move up this taxi rate, which will make the airport that much more attractive.
Got it.
And we can't give them assurance that the money will only be used for airport development projects. It won't be used for anything else.
Yes. Well, it can't.
You want to buy a motor grader?
If they get that assurance, I'm happy to give it to them because the more they contribute, the faster we can do development projects in Marfa.
Okay, Chase, I'll reach into you, because we need to get the FY26 monies, which y'all already sent a letter over. Yeah, I'd like to see that, a copy of that letter, and we'll figure out what projects we can move them with. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Chase.
Anyone else?
Do you want me to call Shauna?
Okay. Oh, never mind.
Sorry, Judge.
There's Constable Marcus. Good afternoon, Constable.
Oh, the code.
Oh, I went that way. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hey, Steve.
So, I'm just here to present my Costco precinct 1 budget. It's not gonna be really different from last year, deciding a couple oversized to some of the things that are needed after the last 3 years. One thing that we're gonna take on is capital outlay. That was a successful venture on trying to get out a vehicle through VPS. So what we're gonna try and do now is gonna go through Operation Lone Star and apply through where we get vehicles.
Shauna, can you, oh no, she's muted. I don't know where we're.
Got it, Steve. So that's why you zeroed out your vehicle parts and repairs, I guess.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, all that's zeroed out until we hear something from the operational side.
Right. And you are doubling the amount for education and travel, so you've got some big plans for getting smarter.
Yes, ma'am. I got some classes that are coming up that are mandatory that I gotta take, so I'm trying to take them all in this year, so I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the summer.
Great. Anyone else have any questions? Thank you so much, Steve.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, because Andrea's budget is a jail, on the jail, I didn't see much different other than them adding to the regular wages the cost of the holiday pay. And also on the revenues, I saw that they matched the same amount for revenues from this fiscal year to fiscal year 27. So I gotta talk to her, make sure that she is foreseeing that those revenues will keep steady. Last year, the commissioners did not balance the budget for the jail. So they were at a deficit. They haven't spent more. So they're pretty much right now with the new Marshall contract, they're kind of equalized. So whatever they're bringing in, they're spending. There's nothing for them to be saving right now, but they're not spending more than they're bringing in at the moment. I know that their jail population has been pretty steady at like 28 to 30 federal inmates, which is pretty low. But it's been the same for a few months, and I think she's predicting the same trend.
She's calling here now.
Or she's.
So we received the benefit of entering into that motion.
Well, what it did is not creating any revenue for the county, but it's kind of evening, the expenses and what they're expending.
Does it balance out the amount we had to pay for the gentleman that brought that contract in?
Probably not yet. Not.
Hi. I did ask for a little bit more on my transport line, just because I have seen an increase in transport recently. And I expect that to continue through the next fiscal year.
Okay.
But other than that, I did keep the budget consistent with what it currently is.
Okay. And another note on the jail, we're thinking of changing Andrea's position from an hourly position to a salary position, because she oversees the whole department. She is eligible to be an exempt employee, which would lower their overtime a little bit, because she doesn't really work overtime, but in case she does, somebody's needed on the job, she can cover those shifts because she will be an hourly employee.
So Alicia, when I look about the amount expended, is this for a June date, the amount expended?
Yes, it's not current.
So it's not current. So I guess the question I have is, at the end of the fiscal year, does the jail spend their entire budget, or
No.
are they always turning money back in?
They don't, money's not turned.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to use that language.
Money's not turned in, but they pretty much spend what they bring in. There's nothing left over. They're usually spending more than they bring in, but because of the contract, they're pretty much spending the same money they bring in.
Thanks, Andrea.
Thank you all.
I think that's, unless somebody else wants to, I think they already spoke on their budgets. So if you wanna, Judge, I don't know if you wanna hold off on that road and bridge thing for next meeting, so when you guys start going over it, cutting and making those decisions, and I can probably get more information on financing and send it over to you guys. The only other one that is in the small part of the budget, but it's in the clerk's office. About 2 years ago, we did go into contract with RCI to, get rid of those old boxes, records and all that. And I know the schedule, because we're paying an annual fee, so I think it's very important that the county keeps track and make sure that we're following that schedule. And then our facilities are not full of boxes that shouldn't be there. The clerk is the records management officer, but she did not request for this, but I asked Carrie to look into it because she worked on that along with Florida. So I kind of guess about a $6,000 cost. I'm not sure. Carrie's gonna contact RCA and kind of make sure on that, because it would be important to kind of make sure we're destroying records and to follow the schedule of record destruction.
Yeah, hugely important. It really is, and I'll tell you, it was, and it wasn't just a Presidio County call. It's a government, especially the smaller governments, and we saw that. It's just a hot mess. I think it's, and I think you and I had a visit about this in the county.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I think we're probably not using them to the extent that we should. So I would hate to go away with it.
No.
Because if not, we're just gonna go back to where we were at.
Absolutely.
Which is just the old jail becomes this repository for records that are just gonna sit there. And again, I'll remind everybody, we will respond and reply to every open record request. And if we're keeping records beyond the retention level, we are obligated to make those available to whoever the entity is. So if they say, I want such and such data and it's so many years and we have it, it's gotta go. So it's more work for us. We need to take advantage of those expiration dates and get rid of that stuff when we're legally authorized.
Yes, sir. So I'll talk to Caro because she's.
They're all different. Some are 7, some
Yeah.
record retentions are 2, some are 5, some are 7, some are in perpetuity, right?
Yes.
Some are forever. So, again, but these guys are subject matter experts in determining what those are. They give us a great inventory of what it is, they document it, they track it, they dispose of it, they shred it.
It's nothing crazy. So, yeah, I'll talk to Caro because she does have to follow up that schedule, and it should be in her office telling, hey, county judge, you need to give your schedule's coming up. Do you have anything to be destroyed so we can set it out for maybe at the end of the fiscal year, call them and have them come and destroy whatever's next. But she should be following up with every department in the county and make sure that's being kept. So next meeting, because you're gonna start, next meeting will be an action meeting where you're gonna start cutting things. So if you want, as homework, go over this list and start really thinking about what's actually needed and what's not needed, and then guys can start having those discussions, and you can start telling me so I can start working on that proposed budget to get it set for August 15th. And next meeting, we should probably have already the full valuations, current valuations for Presidio County. And we won't have a tax rate yet, but we can kind of work on estimating what you will actually be bringing in revenues, depending on that tax rate.
Judge Christians, I will want to add that some of the surrounding counties.
Oh, the insurances. I'm
are
sorry.
saying that the insurance increases anywhere from 9% to 20%. So we might take a very big hit on that. Just be aware that is coming. I should know that like in a couple of days. On the 24th, which is Friday. So I should know our percentage increase by then. But just know that some of these counties are getting hit 20%. I don't know. I mean, depending on your claims, but it's going up.
We know that ours at least is gonna go up about 10%.
Yeah.
Health insurance.
Health insurance for the
You need 100%.
No, well, that was,
yes.
Have we ever explored,
the outside market?
not the outside market, but have we explored the employees being responsible for a portion of it?
I think Alicia and I had a conversation yesterday about this.
It wouldn't make any difference, I promise.
No.
Oh, no, we're not. But that's up to the discretion of the court.
We can figure out some numbers with them, like if the employees were to contribute more.
Again, it's kind of hard to know if you get a 70/30. I don't know, would you give me a 50-cent pay raise and then you're gonna give me on, it would be painful. I'm not saying that's good, I'm saying it would be good to have that information.
No, sure, yes. I can ask, and have them give me something with a couple of choices. Just know that it's coming.
Because it's not just the health insurance, it's all the insurances that the county has.
Yes, usually insurance is like the elected officials insurance, the automobile insurance, those usually get about from anywhere from 3 to 5 to 8%. So they're not that high, but the health insurance can hit you really hard.
Dina's not feeling very well.
Oh, okay. So those are, I think, for when is staff coming?
I will be here, we don't, next Commissioners Court, we don't have any more this month, right? It'll be the.
Yes, the 5th of August.
Oh, they won't be here till the 12th. In Marfa.
Yeah, because take into account, none of this has any wages, no increases, are considered into any of this at the moment.
I know we brought it up the last couple of budget years. Water operator. So how are the water boards in Shafter, Redford, and the Nadia, how are they doing?
I would say that only Redford is the fully functioning, Candelaria. They have not been, really, doing their sampling and stuff. They're struggling in a big way. Ruidoso, they do not have to sample because they have so few taps. Shafter, the board is meeting, but so they don't have the water supply, but I'm supposed to be meeting with, Joseph Haas with the Siglo Creek. And, you know, one of the things that's real evident, Judge, is that those two entities have to start working together, you know, and I think they had a meeting not long ago. But as far as the one real sustainable is Redford.
And I know Mr. Morales is tired, that he's worn out, and I go back to the same thing, and I understand. I think the exemption for TCQ with Villalobos, any connections over 25 now are triggered. Here's what I suspect is happening with Villalobos. I suspect they're like, we're not going to create any tax that puts us at 26, and then we're going to have to start testing. But their water should be tested.
Oh, it should. We recommended that they test it, just send it to a different testing facility.
So, but again, it's not something, I'm not ready to do any kind of dispute with it. I think we should at least talk about it because it's still a water system. We're responsible for it. They do pay taxes. They're out there in remote areas of it. They have no government. We are their government. And we should at least, if they're struggling, should we consider either repurposing an existing position to create a water operator, put it on the road and do something. I think we should at least have it.
You know, there's discussion about, with the proposed potential of this wall coming in, that Candelaria is going to go way low on their number of water taps. So that they will no longer. But you are right, you know, you do have a responsibility. I just think that, it would be interesting to see the population, how that works out.
And I'm a fan of contract labor. I want to say there's probably, and I have to guess, I think the city has 4 or 5 water operators. I think Martha has probably 4 or 5 water operators. We could find somebody and just do a contract.
I'm sorry, I know nothing about water operator. Do they work, do they do that every day?
No, we don't have to do water samples every day.
Well, we hired Jimmy Opera for, the Kendall area. And,
Who paid them?
actually, we got a private donation that paid him, so, I was actually writing his check. But that was a long distance for them to go out there, and after a while, Jimmy was just like, it's not worth it. Jimmy did a fabulous job, he got the system, everything was working great. But the moment, and we have raised the rates on Candelaria's, water to where it would be sustainable. But the moment that Jimmy left and we couldn't find anyone else to fulfill the role, so I think that's gonna be our biggest challenge.
So a water operator, do they test water, what else do they do?
Well, they have to be certified, number one. I have a job description that I can send to you. That
Just
we use.
because you would kind of want, if it's a contract, I mean, you kind of want to figure out how much that person would get paid, how much it would cost to have somebody under contract.
I can tell you all those.
And you can budget for that rather than maybe having an employee and paying benefits. You
Right.
don't want to be paying benefits just because you need one job. So I do think that having somebody like contract labor, maybe on the road and bridge, kind of like you have right now your contract budget, but also maybe increase it to kind of make sure you have somebody like this in case it's needed.
I have all that information.
Good, what is going on, whatever state they're going, all this, along. Probably we can certify one of the guys.
Offer a stipend to one of our existing employees and saying you have to go get certified within a certain time frame, and you will be responsible for testing water as needed. Some of the other things to do like I think typically once or twice a year, they have to do lead and copper testing. So they have to designate, like in the case of Candelaria, probably 3 to 5 homes. They would have to go and say, do not use any water, do not use any water after midnight. We want it to save your pipes. We're gonna be here at 8 in the morning and we're gonna take the water sample and send it. And then other things that make it quirky, it has to make it to the lab within, I think it's 24 hours. So there's a lot of quirky details.
Right.
But we had a deal with FedEx. Yeah, and we can get it in and stuff. But there's also that, they have to bleed the backflow. There's always some kind of an issue with pipes breaking, bringing chlorine in, making sure, because you have to get readings almost daily, on that stuff. So hopefully working with someone within the Colonia, would be helpful.
Okay.
Do you want me to send you what I?
Yeah, send it to me and then we can figure out how much a person like that it costs.
Okay. Administrative updates and announcements from the county judge and commissioners. Commissioner Heisler. Did I pronounce it correct? You didn't pronounce it correct.
I read on the side. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Alicia's been working with me on that.
She'll get it.
So, just basically, I've been meeting with some of the federal contractors and have been on a few calls with CDP and stuff. Other than that, there are some lots of rate issues up in Marfa. I'm starting to get a lot of Commissioner Knight calls and stuff. So I really look forward to working with Obed on how we can start addressing it, because we were absolutely right. Biggest need right now. That's all I got.
How's Redford after the rain?
I haven't gone over there,
A lot of washout. Commissioner?
There's a, Black and I have been working on even this retirement party for women. So I want to invite everybody in the county, including their spouses, and you guys are with young. We want to do something nice. We can do. We're working on a village note. And
Do you have a date?
we're thinking about July 31st, right? That's the last day.
Is that a
Or
Thursday?
probably,
Commissioner, the 30th, our road and bridge guys go out Friday. They did not.
Right, July 30th?
I was thinking on that Saturday. But anyway, we're working on it.
Is that, I know you texted me about the meeting. Is that Thursday, the 30th?
It is, but Commissioner Diaz was thinking about the theme. We're still in the work.
That's good.
That's why we ask for more money, because we're trying to do something nice for everybody. Go and sit down, have a nice dinner. That's at least say no beer, but like.
Well, we can't
The
spend
big
the
guy
county
told-
funds on
Yeah.
that. We can.
One beer, I can put a tap on it, anybody can do. That's, right now, we're getting, the final touches on the new, road and bridge road, they're plastering them. And we wanna see if we can do like a really thing, and then everybody. So,
I heard you're cleaning it up. You guys,
basically, that doesn't look like a trash can. Yeah, it doesn't real nice. And there's enough plants. You can go ahead and do whatever your plans are, all you. And they're not really.
Doesn't need anybody's signature.
I have a, COG meeting tomorrow, so I'm leaving from here to El Paso. And then I have an emergency management meeting on Friday. And then on Monday and Tuesday, a very, very good friend of mine that we went through the DPS academy together. We actually were the only two in the class of 890. We were the only two that came out of El Paso. And unfortunately, passed away. He had been sick for some time. So I'm going to go to his funeral. And his rosary funeral, and I'll be back probably Tuesday, super late, or Wednesday afternoon, somewhere along those. So I'll be available if it's going to be out of pocket. So, thank you so much.
Yeah, so if y'all need anything, call me first. I'll see if I can help, and if I can't, I'll connect you to the judge.
So, I know I asked Scotty to go ahead and pre-vote all of the budget workshops and dates into my calendar.
Yes.
So
Okay.
and I would encourage everybody else to do that kind of stuff.
It's digital.
And I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
And then I'll-
Unless you guys want to go here, Bob.
No.
I have a
No,
motion.
bye.
I have a second, all in favor? It's now 2:31 p.m. Yeah.